Mr. Lewis Ng.
So the intention of this bill is to expand the legal powers of SCDF officers to respond to a wider range of incidents, especially during non-fire emergencies. This can only be a positive move, and I stand in support of it. I seek a few clarifications regarding this bill, which the Minister has actually addressed in her opening speech. First, the official press release by MHA states that such non-fire emergencies could include responding to emergency medical services calls. For our better understanding, could the Minister provide further examples of other day-to-day emergencies which do not constitute as a civil defence emergency? Under Clause 3, powers will be given to SCDF officers to enable them to act in good faith and with reasonable care to save lives and prevent injuries. It would be helpful to receive clarifications on these circumstances, since the power of SCDF officers are extensive, including breaking into private places and vehicles. Secondly, Clause 7 introduces a new scheme allowing ex-NS men who were enlisted in SCDF to continue serving as volunteers. Could the Minister provide more information on this scheme? For example, how would their roles differ from the Civil Defence Auxiliary Unit, or SCDF volunteer force set up in 2006? Would the ex-NS men volunteer under a separate scheme? The bill also states that the Minister may from time to time authorize that the NS men be paid for their services. Under what circumstances would they be paid? Third, I also understand that the bill requires building owners to provide space and grant SCDF officers to install, maintain and repair the outdoor sirens that are part of the public warning systems, as well as other emergency devices. I was going to ask about the rationale for this change, but the Minister has answered it in her speech. But I want to add that the public warning system is important, as it warns all of us of imminent threats that could endanger lives and properties. And I know this is not part of this bill, but what is also equally important is the fire alarm system, and we need to address the lack of the central fire alarm systems at our HDB blocks. I appreciate that SCDF will be introducing a new requirement for all new residential units and residential units undergoing works which impact fire safety to install home fire alarm devices, or HAFDs. It is good to provide early warning to the occupants of the affected unit. But what is also important is to provide warning for other residents living in that block. This will not only help all residents in the affected block, but also the SCDF officers responding to fight the fire. Every second counts in a fire emergency, and lives will be saved if people are aware of the fire early and can evacuate early. The dangers our SCDF officers face will also be reduced if people are evacuated early. We also need to remember that it is not only the fire that kills, but more often than not, also the smoke. While the fire might be contained in the unit, the smoke is not. So I've raised this issue several times already, and I sincerely hope that MHA will consider mandating central fire alarm systems at our HDB blocks, similar to what is already present in condominiums. So notwithstanding my clarifications, I stand in support of this bill.